you grew up in Tucson and played baseball, you know Frank Coronado. He coached all levels of baseball and coaches softball. Gives up his time to do this. You know, coaches teams, had his son on it. That's, you know, that's pretty good there too. So anyways, he did it because he liked doing it and liked to have help the kids out. Not just kids, but college players too, and people out of college in semi-pro league. So Frank Coronado.
Thank you, Brad. All right. I'll tell you what, that's a hard act to follow, as Dave Baldwin. He was 2 years ahead of me, and he was something else. Anyway, I got a 45-minute speech here, but I'm going to bring it down. I'll finish it at the end. First of all, I'd like to thank the committee for this great honor. When you look at the incredible athletes, coaches, and other dignitaries who graced this special place, you realize that being part of it is a very big moment in your life. To say that I'm grateful for being recognized at this time in my life is a real understatement. Never have I felt that someday I would be standing here receiving credit for something that I enjoyed doing, especially for such a long time. As we get older, time does go by much faster, so the last 60+ years seem like yesterday. Memories of all the great people that I have been fortunate enough to be around with have left a real impact in my life, beginning with the kids I grew up with. Starting with a gentleman that's sitting in one of the tables over there, Salvador Andrade. He's my childhood friend. He's probably the first guy I ever played ball with, caught with. We were raised in front of a mountain, and that's where we started our game. But anyway, he was the first one I ever played catch with that I can remember. And he also was the first one that I ever went into a bar with. But that's about 5 years old. That's another story. But anyway, I had to get away from him after a while though, because he used to bat like this, cross-handed. Okay, so anyway, he actually gave it up because his parents got tired of sending him to the doctor to fix those wrists. But anyway, I'm very honored to have, well, we have people here that I coached at every level and played with at every level, starting with Little League, junior high, high school, semi-pro, and then people that I coach, which starts with Little League, seniors, big league, American Legion. My teammates from Tucson High School also are here. I also coached 3 or 4 years there. And I even coached a girls' Little League team for a little while until I got it, my first time I ever got ejected from a game. And it wasn't Joe Robinson either. Anyway, but anyway, I got a whole bunch of people here. I won't be able to mention all of them, but that had a lot of influence in my upbringing, and mentors, teachers. What first one comes to mind is my high school coach, Lee Carey. He was something else, the legendary Lee Carey. I give credit to Bobby Hart. I learned a lot from Bobby Hart, playing for him and against him. I learned a lot from Dave Casanega, who I played against and played on my team. He played on that great Tucson Gas team that we had. In fact, that Chuck Giles is here today. He was one of the architects of that team. He was also one of the pitchers, and he used to play for another team, and somehow we got him over because I got tired of him hitting me all the time. But anyway, I can't forget Elmer Carrier. He was a mentor and a teacher. Bruce Wabell has a lot to do with me being up here because he's one of the most unselfish persons that I've ever met. He ran the semi-pro league for years. I helped him a few times, and he's the one that got us picked for the helped us get picked for the team of the year in 1972. and that team, that Tucson Gas team, which ended up 7th in the nation in Wichita, Kansas. And he had a lot to do with it. So I won't be able to name everybody here because they'll extend it to the 45 minutes, right? But there's a Cinco de Mayo tournament in Nogales, Arizona that we run, my senior softball team. And it's, we give some of the funds to underprivileged kids in Pima and Santa Cruz County. And we have Joe Pacheco here today also. He has a lot to do with that. He's the liaison between us and Nogales, and he's a big part of that. Anyway, I'll tell you a little story here, break it up a little bit. There was a gentleman that moved into the neighborhood. He was a retired colonel. His name was Lee Ladd Carpenter, and I lived in front of a mountain over there. Anyway, he moved in and got to know me and found out that I played ball. And he's the one that took my father to see me play for the first time. This is in the early 60s. Took my father to see me play at High Corbett Field. We had a game. So he took my dad. He took my dad on his. This is in the early 60s. He had about a 1950 Hudson. That he was about 85 years old. He was a retired colonel. I asked him one day. I said, "What are you doing, moving into our neighborhood?" He says, "Oh," he says, "I love it here. The sun goes down faster against the mountains." Okay, but anyway, he took my dad to the game, and him and my dad walked in all the way and sat in the dugout. And the first time at bat at High Corbett Field, I hit my first home run there. I think you noticed that I said first home run, right? But anyway, after I hit it, I went back, and I didn't get close to him because I didn't want to, make him feel that I was showing off or anything like that. But anyway, I'm going to cut it short. Last time at bat, but wait a minute, I would tell you who I hit it off, who the pitcher was, but I don't want anybody here running to amphitheater and telling the football coach there. But anyway, the last time at bat, I struck out, and I came back in, and that time I did get close enough to him. And Lee Ladd Carpenter says, "Frank, come here." I said, "Yes, sir." He says, "Man, I'll tell you what." He says, "You got the most beautiful third strike swing I've ever seen." Anyway, I'm going to cut it short a little bit here, but bear with me. Finally, I do want to thank someone very special. That special person is not with us anymore. My wife, Irma. She left us a few years back. In almost 40 years of marriage, she never made me feel that I was negligent in my duties as a husband, because I was always so involved in sports. On the contrary, she made it a point to be with me as often as she could. And she does have all her family here. She was something else. She was team mother. She was everything. She went everywhere, actually. She was always in the car before me when we were going out of town or somewhere. And also one year that I took a big league team to the World Series in Fort Lauderdale, she couldn't fly with us. I had to fly with the team. When I got there, she was already there. Anyway, okay. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.